What's up, guys? Universal Mastery.
Wherever you're at, Universal Mastery.
I'm coming to you today. Universal Mastery.
Me there. And once again, Universal Mastery. Thanks for watching. I'm about the energy that you hold right now creates your future. I was never the person that could settle for that shit. Everything should be a learning experience. You should always be, we're supposed to evolve. So you need to learn these tools, you need to learn these skills to grow, become strong.
What's up, guys? Coming to you, Universal Mastery. And I'm chilling in my house right now. Just got a morning meditation in, went for a run on the beach, meditated at the beach again, got on the phone with one of my boys. We had a good conversation. Now I'm in my kitchen doing a little bit of hookah, got my food right there, very healthy. So basically what I want to talk about in today's video is I want to cover religion, okay? Now, I've spoke on religion before, but basically I want to speak on it much more in depth, okay? I want to really hit home on this, and I want to hit home base, and I want to unlayer the onion of religion and the things that are holding you back, okay? And this is universal. The things that are going to hold you back from reaching your full potential. And we all know what the full potential is for ourselves. We all know that. We all have aspirations, we all have dreams, we all have things that we want to accomplish, things that we want to receive, things that we want to see come into our life physically, so that we can be like, damn, I did that. And not only I did that, but I did it and it feels good. Like, if that's you and that's what you want, which I know it is, I mean, I don't need to ask, but then this is one of the main things that you need to realize about religion. And I know there's going to be certain people that are watching this right now, and immediately that's already striking a chord with them. They're already like, oh wait, what do you mean religion? Like, you know, I'm Christian, or I'm Buddhist, or I read the Quran and that's what I follow, and all the things in that nature. It doesn't matter what it is, Catholic, could be any of those religions. Now, what I want to say, and I only have 10 minutes to do this because that's as long as the video can go. So basically what I'm talking about is religion has purpose, okay? Now, the way that religion has purpose is the fact that, you know, you can get introduced to spirituality through religion. Now, what happens at the same side of the token, not only are you getting introduced to spirituality, but you're kind of initiating yourself into a blockage as well. So, you know, I'm coming from a background where I was, you know, raised very, very, very religious, very Baptist Christian, and to the point where it was like, if I don't go to church, then I'm going to go to hell. And you can already imagine that there's different past traumas that can come with that, coming from, you know, a family that preaches that on you. Now, I never believed that. I always believe that, like, if there is a God, then there's no way that he's going to punish me for not going to church. But the truth of the matter is, now I believe that there's way more than just one God, and I don't follow any religions. I believe there's all kinds of spiritual powers. There's some that you don't want to work with. There's some that you do want to work with. Some will give you power. Some will teach you lessons. Some will give you wisdom. They'll help you receive the things that you want in life and walk with you. And they're probably already there with you. It just is, are you aware of it? So what I find in religion is that, yes, it can have the purpose of, okay, now you're introduced to spirituality. Now you believe there is a God, if you didn't believe anything in that nature. But with every religion, there is a separate deity, okay? So when it comes to Christians, you worship Jesus or you worship Jehovah. And just to keep in mind, Jesus and Jehovah are completely two different entities, if you didn't already know that. And then there's the Holy Spirit, which is a whole nother thing within itself. It's like, it's almost as if it's a thought form, and the more people believe it and worship it, the stronger it gets. So you have the Holy Spirit with the Trinity, and then you have Jesus, Jehovah. Then, you know, you go to Buddhists and they worship Buddha, and that's a whole entity within itself. Then you go to the Quran, you have Allah. That's a whole different entity within itself. So basically what I'm trying to say is they all have different aspects. They all have their own entities, okay? Now, what I want to go into about it is those entities, and I'm just going to say, I mean, I don't really care. I don't have any blockages. The thing that makes me different than most people is I'm not afraid to say what I say. I'm going to say it regardless, because my true investment is to help you become a better person, because I know all the struggle and suffering that I've went through in my life dealing with these concepts. So I'm a strong motherfucker, and I want to help people break out of it, because most people get stuck in it and they're lost in it for the rest of their life. And I don't want to see that. I am alive right now because I'm here to make a difference, and I want to change people's lives. And not only that, but I want to transform my own life, especially in the process of it. So, as I'm saying, with religions, you're buying into certain entities. Now those entities, Yahweh, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, those entities do have powers, right? So you can see it. So like, you know, Christians and people that read the Quran, worship the Quran, and Buddhists, they're not crazy. They definitely are seeing spiritual things happen in their life. But the truth of it is those entities aren't the most powerful entities. Those entities were actually created to be a distraction. Okay, so those entities were created as thought forms to mislead people from the true entities that give real power and really want the best for you. And the funny thing is, these entities that want the best for you are working pretty much in almost everyone's life, unless you're really disrespectful. If you're an asshole to them and you say, you know, bad things in their name, or you just are disrespectful to, you know, the spiritual, the misunderstood side of the spiritual. If you're disrespectful to it, then bad things can start happening in your life. I've experienced it in my own life. I remember there was a point in my life where I was going through a major test just between my spirituality, and since I had my parents mainly my dad telling me that, you know, Jesus is the way, he's the only truth, and God, and Jesus is God's son, and then I'm thinking, like, who's God? I didn't even know who God was. I just thought there was one God, and that God was just kind of unknown to me. It was just kind of a blurred image. I mean, you couldn't put a face or a picture to the name. I remember I was going through some really tough times, and in those tough times, I looked up at the sky and I said, God, if you're real, then fuck you, because my life is going to shit right now, and I don't understand, and if you're the God that you say you are, then I don't understand why you're not helping me and why this is happening. Now, since that happened, since I said that, a lot of bad things started happening in my life. Like, all this shit came at me, all this shit test. And I subconsciously knew that it had to do with something that I was saying. It had to do with that time when I was in my room and I said, fuck you. And I literally threw my middle finger up to the sky, not knowing what I was saying fuck you to, but knowing that I was saying it to this God, right? So come to find out, down my path, there has been some super spiritual, powerful, very powerful entities that have been in my life the whole entire time. And through all that, they were the ones that I pretty much said fuck you to, because all the good things that were in my life were coming from them, and I pretty much denied them. And then they pretty much turned their back on me for a little bit so I could realize. They never left me, but they did it so I could realize. And it wasn't Jesus, and it wasn't Yahweh, it wasn't Jehovah. They were with me the whole time, but they taught me a lesson. And that lesson that I learned was to be strong. So in that time when I was going through that major suffering, that pain, all that hardship, I didn't give up. I was at a point where I was suicidal, and I knew that, you know, if I push through this, there will be a brighter day. There will be a day where all this comes into light and I understand what's actually going on. And that is exactly what happened. But this is like 5 years after, okay? 5 years after now, I can see what really happened in my life. And now I can really put the story to my name and figure out like what I went through and why I went through it. But it doesn't have to take 5 years for everyone, okay? And you don't have to be stuck in the whole mix if you have turned your back on the spiritual and you're lost and you're actually confused. You know, most people are very confused when it comes to the spiritual. Most people are very confused, so they use the easy route of, oh, I'm a Christian, or, oh, you know, I'm a Buddhist. They use the easy route and they just say, that's who I am, that's what I do. Yet they know nothing about their own religion. They haven't studied any spirituality. Like the Kabbalion, things in that nature, things with all kinds of magical powers. So what I'm saying is definitely do your research and learn to realize that religions are created to misguide you. But remember, there is purpose getting into it, because you do realize there is spirituality. But remember this, there's so many spiritual powers out there, and I know exactly which ones to work with. I know exactly which ones will help other people. I know how to literally help people get in touch with their spirituality and transform their fucking life. Okay, and I'm saying this with fire, with literally like fire. to wake up a fire within yourself to realize that. And I want you guys to progress at the speed that you want to progress and with the power that you should have, because you are powerful. At the end of the day, I don't care who you are powerful, but you have to realize it. So my video is going to end in about 5 seconds, so I'm going to let you guys go. But that was the message. Love you guys. Do some research, okay? And you can reach out.